Okay, hello there, Speedgaming, and welcome to Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer. We have a Game 2 match between Hebinx and freddyn3k in the quarterfinals. I am Hatox, joined by Giga and our tracker, Ekimot. Giga, how's it going?
It's going pretty all right. How's it going with you, Attacks?
It's going excellent. I just got done with the Shanigan Farfelu match. That was a wild one with both runners in the Dark King pretty much at the same time.
Who ended up winning?
In that one, Farfelu ended up winning, so Farfelu's gonna force a game 3 now with Shanigan. They haven't scheduled it yet.
Nice. Looks like our runners are about ready to start. Why don't we go over a few of the flags?
Sure. So we are on the Speedgaming Tournament 2023 flag set. We've got Save the Crystals enabled. So our runners have to go through all 4 main dungeons, beat all 4 elemental bosses, to light all 4 crystals to get the Sky Coin, which will allow them access into the main part of Doom Castle. We're on standard logic. This means that we're going to see all 3 coins that are logically going to allow them access into the different elemental areas. However, they can defeat the logic using crest warps, and we have not shuffled the crest warps. They're all vanilla warps.
That's right.
Yep. Our runners will also be finding items on NPCs, battlefields by priority instead of by randomness. And what I mean by that is if an NPC in the vanilla game held an item, a quest item to give to the character, then they will also hold a quest item to give to you when you get there. Battlefields their rewards have been shuffled and randomized, but we've color coded it for the runners to make life a little bit easier. It's quality of life improvement, really. And as we see those colors, we'll point them out to you. Each of them indicating a different type of reward.
We'll see them pretty soon after the race starts.
Yep, so we're going to get started here in 3, 2, 1. Let's see what we've got.
We've got Hebinx using his own personal custom sprite and Freddy being a black mage at the moment. We didn't touch on custom sprites the last time I was with you here.
Oh yes, that's right. Definitely something to go over as we see that our runners start with bombs. And a free exit spell out of Kaylee's house.
Well, that does mean that part of who's going to win, or part of the major strategy used in this race, is going to be how efficiently our runners can use that exit spell. We've got a Captain's Cap. That's one of our go mode items.
Yeah.
The Captain's Cap gives runners the ability to pilot the ship once they blow open Spencer's place and free the ocean, and can access it with the Mobius Crest when they get to Windian.
Yep, so here are our battlefields. So we see Hebinx about to enter the blue one. The blue one guaranteed to give you a quest item.
That's right.
We also saw him. Oh, yikes! We also saw him save right before that battlefield. Our poison toads, something dealt 300 and something cast Doom on Tristram.
Cast Doom.
I saw 360 damage show up.
That might have been just a really powerful skill rather than casting Doom.
That is true too.
Freddy decides to skip the battlefield for the moment. Sorry.
Yep, exactly. Freddy said no to the battlefield. He's going through Bone Dungeon. He got a Libra Crest and a something.
He must be feeling pretty bad about having to jump across sideways a few times there.
Oh,
he gets the multi-key from Justin and realizes, I can open this door. I just don't want to go through it yet. Finding sand coin. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So sand coin out of the left battlefield. Yep. So Freddy Basically, it's a matter of can I, but should I?
I can, but should I? And it's a good idea to do at least a few fights in the Bone Dungeon. Lever Crest in that middle chest. We didn't see what was in this one. It's Blizzard. Blizzard does not get tracked, but it's good to know that we have that.
Mostly useless spell though, unless you're trying to pitch a few snowballs at your enemy.
If you got nothing better to do.
You know, by the time we'll be casting that, hopefully we've got better spells like White and Meteor and Flare.
We see Hebinx casting Exit to leave the Bone Dungeon.
Yep, so Hebinx also choosing that Bone Dungeon is not the play. Instead going to Aquaria, using that Sand Coin.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, Freddy gets the Sand Coin as well. He's going straight to Aquaria.
Yeah, so our partner is probably going to be trading in Tristram now for Phoebe.
Mm-hmm.
Also, hoping that they remember to do their Libra Crest check to get a quest item.
Finding the Thunder Rock. That's going to let them get just a little bit closer to accessing the ship.
Yep. So we saw the blue battlefields earlier. Now we're starting to see some gray and green ones. Can you tell us what those colors mean?
Absolutely. As you said earlier, the blue ones will always give you a quest item, whether it's weapons, armors, key item, anything like that. Once you complete all the fights in that battlefield. The gray ones will give you experience as the reward, and the green ones will give you money. There is an important glitch related to the experience battlefields as well. If you level up at the end of an experience-granting battlefield, you will level up twice, because the way experience works is it counts down to the next level up and not up. And your level does, or rather your experience does not reset until you exit back to the overworld. So you gain 2 instances of experience, and you get 2 levels for it. We'll see if either of our runners use that particular glitch here.
Let me just say I'm glad that our runners are remembering to do the Libra Crest check for the Vanilla Wakewater item. In my last race against Farfalu, I forgot to do that check coming out of Ice Pyramid with the Libra Crest, and missed out on the life spell.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yep, so I was at Dark King minus an Aegis Shield and a life spell. And let me tell you, that didn't go well.
I imagine you lost that one.
Oh yeah, that was really unfortunate. And now that you can definitely check that one up to a little bit of RNG, but you know, just really, you know, my rookie status, my amateur status as a runner.
It's okay. Because you're here with me in the commentator's booth.
Exactly. No better place to be.
Our runner's finding a sword, specifically the Excalibur, the strongest sword. Strongest weapon in the game, tied with Ruben's Morningstar.
Yep. Our runner's also getting an Apollo helm out of the Winter Cave and deciding to bail on it right after that. Apollo helm is going to give them the fire resistance they need to have a much easier Hydra fight and to be able to survive some Mega Flares later on from our final boss.
The Apollo helm also gives them drain resistance, I think. No, I'm probably wrong. I just have that listed in the Moon Helm does also give fire resistance. But
so we've got
it being a weaker helmet.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to see it when you've already got the Apollo helm. We've got some divergence. Freddy getting the River Coin from the Aquaria vendor. Hebinx going through Bone Dungeon right now. Getting the Meteor spell, that's going to serve him really well in the upcoming section in Fireburg.
That's right. Meteor is it's the second strongest spell in the game, having both the Earth element and I believe 1,530 base power, I determined last time.
Yep, I think you're right about that. Bone Dungeon really just being a cornucopia of goods right now, but only the Meteor spell being the most useful of them.
Freddy finding the elixir. He might be able to get Kaylee too.
He can get Kaylee 2, definitely, but I haven't seen a tree wither yet to give us Kaylee 1.
Having casted life on Flavorous, this works because life is based on the internal level value of each of the enemies and not any status resistances.
So Hebinx will also get paid out for this fight with 2 red checks that Flamerous is guarding.
2 important items. They may be spells, they could be key items. They could be a claw.
It could be a claw and a claw.
Kind of unfortunate that both claws were in the same spot. But the Charm Claw will be useful. So now Hebinx can climb up and down walls that have handholds on them, which gives him access to more of the Wintry Cave.
Meanwhile, on Freddy's side, Freddy clearing out battlefields, getting paid out with some Mega Grenades just now. Mega Grenades being one of our Go Mode items.
Definitely. The Mega Grenades are used to blow the ocean out of Spencer's place, like I said earlier. But you have to do it from the Windia side.
Oh, yep. Got to do it from the Windia side. Also, with the Apollo Helm, and Hebinx will probably be there pretty soon, they'll have to think about whether or not they want to take on that Jin fight early on. Hebinx better suited for it with Meteor as well, but it is a beatable fight.
Freddy recently found the Noble Armor. Noble Armor does give our runners resistance to ice and wind.
Freddy here getting a yellow flag on the play. He's going to take a 10... That is a 10-second penalty right there for inappropriately talking to the old man. It's so simple.
You gotta show off the shrugs sometimes. I didn't see exactly what color this battlefield Hebinx is in is.
It's the jelly battlefield. I'm pretty sure this is one of the 2 blue ones that were right outside Focus Tower. So Freddy did scout some checks in the volcano. There is a red check. There is a red chest. So when we say red chest, we mean chests that are guaranteed to give you a quest item.
They are actually red as well.
And yes, they are red. And this one's going to be on the Medusa path.
The brown chests that you see littered about the world will always have a consumable item in them. One of 4. Cure Potion, Heal Potion, Seeds, or Refreshers. We never want to see Refreshers, because all they do is cure the debuffs that you can get in battle. But we do want to see Seeds, because Seeds restore your spell charges, and spell charges are the most useful thing in the game.
Yep.
Along with the spells themselves.
Yep, so Freddy getting that Venus shield out of the volcano, not stopping for anything else. So he'll now have paralyzed resistance for the rest of the game. Meanwhile, over on Hebinx's side, Hebinx going to the Fireberg vendor and getting Flare. So Hebinx now with his Mega Grenades, now with Flare, now with Meteor. He's pretty well kitted out now for this section of the game, and he's gonna use his multi-key too. Let's find out what the Hermit has.
The Dragon Claw. Another of our Go Mode items.
Oh my god.
The Dragon Claw is not just a regular claw, it's a grappling hook, which our runners will be able to use to grapple across pits to various grapple points that are sticking out of the ground. Now,
Alright, so finally, our runners in the same space right now, at the same battlefield, clearing out some ghosts.
Another function of the claw in the randomizer is that it enables the elevators in the mine. if you didn't have a claw and you went down one of those elevators, normally it would soft lock you. But because we have a claw, and because the claw is forced by the randomizer, not only is it impossible to get soft locked, but we can climb up the wall that we would need to get back outside of the mine without the exit spell. Of course, our runners do have the exit spell, so they can, use it to warp out of wherever they need to.
Yeah, so sans the exit spell, because it's the randomizer and you can get items, in different areas and at different points in the game than you're supposed to, it is possible to get yourself into some pretty sticky situations. Our developer, Wildham, though, has built in a series of checks that will keep you from soft locking yourself for the most part. So one of them, as you talked about in the mine, going down the elevators without the claw will eventually soft lock you. But in
so
Ice
it's not
Pyramid,
possible anymore.
Right, it's not possible. Can't do it. But in Ice Pyramid, there are some checks to make sure that before you jump down the pyramid, you've got a sword and a claw.
Right. I believe it says that it looks dangerous without a claw when you try to do it. Hebinx finding his axe.
Yep.
Any axe is necessary for go mode, but the one that Hebinx found, the Giant's axe, is the best axe in the entire game. I don't think either of our runners checked that chest on the right in the bottom right of the first floor of Volcano.
No, I don't recall seeing them go there. Was there a red chest there?
We never saw it.
Yeah. I just don't know if Freddy went through the back of Volcano, or if he dipped right after getting right after he got his elixir.
Hebinx found the Venus shield. Now he'll have that
Venus shield. Yeah.
resistance.
Come on, Heb. One more check. There you go, buddy. So there is a brown box back there behind Medusa that you can scout from the top side, which is where Hebinx was, or you can go on the Medusa path and go around Medusa. Medusa herself does hold an item, but it's not a guaranteed quest item. It could be a brown box.
Medusa isn't an NPC. She's a boss.
Yep. So several of our mini bosses during the game, Medusa, Dullahan, Ghidra, they hold items. Well, in Ghidra's case, he just blocks access to one. But you don't know what those items are until you beat them, and that can be a time investment.
Except for Ghidra's case, you see that item on floor 2 of the giant tree.
Yep.
Hebinx now in the last cave in the mine. That cave, it's a little special. There's a bit of a glitch in the collision of that room. The farthest left column that has shadows on it, you can't walk on that. And because that's a glitch that's in the vanilla game, Wildham has decided not to patch it out.
Hebinx going into his Jin fight, should be a slightly better Jin fight than what we saw earlier today. Although this has the potential to go sideways really fast. Hebinx kitted out with an Apollo helm for fire resistance, along with a meteor spell and some seeds, so you can at least both characters can be dealing damage.
Meteor doing 811. The Jin must have quite a bit of magic defense. Well, rather, magic defense isn't a different stat from magic attack in this game. So it must have quite a high magic stat. I don't think there are any monster attacks that actually use the magic stat, now that I think about it.
Freddy visiting the Hermit, getting his Dragon Claw. Probably going to be joining Hebinx in the mine really shortly. Flame Pillar, though, not doing any sorts of nasty damage, with both our characters being resistant. But as we progress through this fight, we will see Hebinx using defensive strats with Ruben, mainly because Ruben's the only one with life right now.
Honestly, it's the best idea.
Meanwhile, in chat world, probably one of the best and snarkiest comments I've seen describing this game right here. The best axe in the entire game is the one someone's shredding on for this awesome song. That is true. This game does, as possibly underrated and criticized as it is, has some just absolutely rocking out music.
Speaking of the music, Hebinx is actually using an MSU pack. He has the music replaced with some remixes of the original soundtrack that sound a bit nicer. But the randomizer has native MSU support. So you can replace these songs with whatever you want if you have the ability to make them. The PCM files, I mean.
Yeah. So we had a bit of a split feeling right there. Hebinx got super paid out from his Jin fight. He got rewarded with an Aegis shield, which is going to give him petrification resistance for the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. But Daddy only having the most basic of axes.
It's a worthless axe. We don't need it. Hebinx also finding the steel helm, which it's basically just a tin can that we toss to the side. We've already got Apollo helm. We don't need it. Meanwhile, Freddy pretty significantly behind at the moment. Fighting the Jin.
Hebinx doing the Lava Dome play with Ruben 2. So we say Ruben 2 because he's better than Ruben 1. In the game, both in the vanilla game and in the randomizer, there are 2 forms of your ally character as Hebinx picks up the Sun Coin from the Twitch Path check. In order to get the second form of the ally, you have to pick up at least in the randomizer, you have to get the first version's item. So with Tristram, that's the item in Bone Dungeon. With Ruben, that's the item at the back of the mine as you try to clear out the boulder. Or even if you don't have the mega grenades, when you hit that spot, Ruben will still give you his item. Phoebe gives you the item after your not fall in Winry Cave, and Kaylee gives you the item after the Minotaur fight.
That's right.
And then at that point, they move on to their second locations. Phoebe moves from Aquaria, or actually from Libra Cave, Libra Temple, over to the Windia Inn. Ruben stays the same at his house. What a guy. Kaylee moves from basically her dinner table to her bed. She's poisoned. You have to give her some elixir to heal her. And
after you do heal her, if she leaves your party again, she shows up in the Windia Inn.
That is correct. Kaylee can be found at that point in the second floor of the Windia Inn. That's also where you're going to talk to her to get her second item. She's the only one that gives you 2, I think. And Tristram, our buddy, can be found... okay, so he also gives you an item. So he's the other guy. He's drowning his sorrows at the bar.
Haley just wants to get in our good graces. Tristram, he's selling us stuff. Stuff we don't want. Some of the time. Apparently it's got a tracker in it. The randomizer does have a few quotes from some of the NPCs changed around. For example, Ruben will always make up an illness to have.
A magic ring over on Hebinx's side as he's beginning the trek to the Hydra. And as we talk about these quotes from the characters, Kaylee showing off what she's learned from her dad, aka Captain Mac.
There is the phrase "swearing like a sailor."
There really is, but it's all G-rated, so it's family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe reminding us that she is the true hero or heroine of the game.
She wishes.
Right? And Tristram borrowing a line from Final Fantasy VI Locke, and reminding us that he is a treasure hunter.
Hebinx finding the Gaia armor in what I call the gold phase. Gaia armor resists not only ice and wind, but also poison and sleep. And when status effects are resisted in this game, they are absolutely nullified.
Yep. So everybody with a dream to poison or paralyze or stone Hebinx right now, they're gonna have to wait until the next seed.
Hebinx is nearly immune to every single status effect in the game. All he's missing to bring is
a Cupid
Confusion
lock.
and Blind. The Cupid Locket would give him Confusion and Blind in addition to everything he already has.
All right, so this is gonna be a little scary. This Hydra fight here. Hebinx has 2 seeds to his name right now, so he has a grand total of 6 meteor blasts, along with Ruben's white spell.
Even with only 2 seeds, there is a way to get more of them. I don't know if Hebinx is going to do it.
Yeah, no Final Fantasy is complete without some sort of item duplication glitch.
In this one, you just have to fail to use an item somehow during battle. For example, you can set yourself to use the seed during the turn, cancel that action with your partner set to manual, and then run away. Alternatively, if you try to use a seed, die during the turn before you get to use that seed, and then don't get revived on that turn, then you'll duplicate the seed.
Hydra now in phase 3. This has been a pretty quick Hydra. Maybe I'm really hoping that Hydra rode pretty close to vanilla here. But now that we're in phase 3, we are going to start seeing some of these scarier attacks. We move from the breath attacks, the AoE attacks, to the heavy hitting single target attacks. Fortunately, Hebinx pretty much resistant to everything that Hydra was throwing at him and not at Ruben. Hebinx shrugged off a stone gas. He ate a thunder, I think, just now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a complete fight. And Hebinx has lit his next crystal here.
We do have the enemy's attacks being set to simple shuffle. There was a bug with the shuffle implementation that Wildhand talked about earlier. I don't know whether that was fixed or not. I don't think it was. But it results in the bosses typically not having their attack shuffle.
Yeah, I saw that comment thread. That was just posted in the Discord like hours ago. I don't think they've had a chance to commit that one just yet.
Probably not.
No.
They might not have a chance to commit it during the entire tournament.
Yep, we'll probably see that in the 1.5 release, is my guess.
Freddy now finding the Gaia armor.
Yep. Hebinx finding a blue battlefield behind Lava Dome. It's a 5 battlefield. This is also the one that traditionally has a double Ifrit or double not Medusa.
I prefer to not use the mistranslated names Ifrit.
Ifrit. All right. So I'm curious though. What is this one's mistranslation? I mean, we know that a lot of the translations were just butchered. That's traditional SNES, early PlayStation type of games. We're used to that.
Honestly, I don't know.
What is a steno besides a notebook?
I don't know. I imagine it must have been one of the Gorgon sisters. Like, you know how Medusa is a Gorgon in Greek literature, right?
Right.
And she had a few sisters. I don't know exactly how many. I think 3. And they had names, I'm sure. But I don't know what those names were. Steno might have been one of them.
Hebinx exiting Focus Tower, and then coming back in to do the Doom Castle basement check. That way he can just kind of exit right out. That is the speed strat.
Mhm.
And now onto the rope bridge for 2 checks. And he'll probably just exit out of this one too. Nope.
The exit is pretty close.
It's pretty close to the same amount of time investment right there.
Yeah, he doesn't need to waste the white charge. He's also fading the entire alive forest. There's a few checks in there. And he has the Dragon Claw, so he could climb the giant tree if he needs to. But it is a bit out of his way.
Alright, we're gonna see what the Winho Temple has to offer us. Gives us the Tree Wither. So if you're Hebinx now, do you make the time to go?
You do,
And
apparently.
he is. So Hebinx showing us some overworld strats with exit right here. Like we said earlier in the randomizer, you can use exit anywhere on the world map to get back to level forest.
It doesn't even cost you a white charge.
It doesn't. It's completely free. So Hebinx also taking the time to do all the axe checks right now. Chopping down trees like it doesn't even matter. Gonna do the Kaylee 1 fight with the Minotaur to get the item. It's more of a cutscene than anything else.
The Minotaur only has 240 health. And
Yep,
it's less than level 3. Kaylee can cast life on it to defeat it.
Yeah, but Hebinx opting to go with the safe strat of just throwing a mega grenade at it. Bombs, jumbo bombs, and mega grenades all falling into the explosives category here. Fixed damage attack divided by the number of enemies on the screen, but 100% chance to hit.
They do not have an accuracy check.
Yeah. Chat coming through for us. See, Gigo, you ask a question to chat, and somebody's gonna know the answer. Steno is the name of one of the other Gorgons.
Thank you, chat. I'm glad my assumption was right.
Yeah, but that's kind of how life is, right? With Twitch chat, you got your people who know the stuff you need, you got the people who are cheering you on, and then you've always got at least one who wants to watch the world burn. Having trading in Kaylee 2 for Phoebe 2, and then getting the Kaylee 2 item, which is the Wake Water. No Venus key, so... Oh, go ahead.
The Wake Water is probably not going to be used, which will turn Mac's ship into an icebreaker. I think that was the mask at the Windia vendor.
Yeah.
Which Hebinx just doesn't need.
Yeah, Hebinx choosing to spend his 300 GP elsewhere.
all the mask does is reveal the enemies in the volcano, and you can leave enemies invisible. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is dodge them, I guess.
Doesn't matter at all. Hebinx doing the mega grenades to free the ship, getting cure, and having to do the Mobius check the long way, having to blow open the wall, and then using the Libra crest to warp over.
A bit of a walk, but not too bad.
Yeah, and the exit spell does say that we can at least leave faster.
And now he's choosing...
Yeah.
Going past the Alive Forest. Where's he going?
I'm watching this too. I think he's going back to Aquaria. I think he's going to take the pyramid.
That would make sense.
Right? I mean, let's see. Looking at our kit here, what we're missing... For Dark King, we're missing Cupid and Life. We're a Mobius crest away from Go mode.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the play. I think you play the pyramid. You do the first floor checks. You do the second floor speed strat, and then you get what you get. And then you go to Pazuzu and you ask the bird.
Hebinx did just use the item duplication glitch. All he's got is seeds, and he just made one out of thin air.
Yep. So you can scout all the checks in Ice Palace, basically from this pathway in the second floor on your way to Ice Pyramid. We did see one red chest there in the bottom section, so Hebinx will most likely clear the Ice Golem, drop down to the 4th floor if there's something worth picking up, exit out, and then go back and do the 1st floor left side to get to that item location. That's going to be the stairwell on the left side of the 1st floor of Ice Pyramid to get to the 2nd floor, to get to the item all the way at the end of the 2nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
But Freddy, no slouch here. Clearing out the Fireberg area, getting his heal spell just now. Doing the rope bridge checks. It'll be interesting. We are not gonna see an Alive Forest yet from our runners.
I don't think either of them are going to check the Alive Forest until very late in the game.
Yeah. So there's kind of like two schools of thoughts. You've got Alive Forest, which are a lot of free checks, because you can axe tree your way around the enemies. But it's a time commitment. You're looking at least 1 minute to 2 minutes to do the Alive Forest map plus the 1st floor of the tree.
Hebinx duplicating another seed.
Well, last I checked, Hebinx was at 2 seeds, and that was pre-Hydra, and I'm not sure if
He's at 5 now.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know if he took the time to buy more from the vendor in Fireberg, so...
Nope, he's just been duplicating them. Whenever he runs into a battle, he knows he can get around.
Alright, so we checked 5th floor. We didn't see anything on the left or the top. The bottom and the top. So now we just need to check one more side check. And then we'll be falling down. No chests in the 4th floor worth claiming. So this will be a shot straight to Ice Golem. Ice Pyramid really coming up dry here for Hebinx.
Which is fine. It's just, we want to know where the Mobius crest is. It can be somewhere in Pazuzu's.
It could be. So logically, the Mobius Crest. I mean, there's really only one place the Mobius Crest can't be. It can't be on Captain Mac's ship, just because you need the crest to warp to the ship. So the randomizer is cruel, but it is not unfair. It is not going to soft lock you by placing an item completely out of bounds.
Hebinx has made it to the ice golem, and he's going to completely destroy it.
Yep. So this is Ben's one chance to be the hero in the game. His one chance to out damage Phoebe by casting Flare on the ice golem for double the damage.
We had a beefy ice golem, but he cannot stand up to Flare, no matter what the circumstances are.
Yep. Meanwhile, Freddy checked Mount Gale, the 2 brown box checks that are visible, and we did not find anything. Chat might be saying at this point there are 3 checks in Mount Gale, and that would be right. Ooh! Well, I'll finish this thought first. There are 3 checks in Mount Gale. The Apollo Helm check is moved to be under Dullahan. So it is not to be guaranteed an item, and you have to fight Dullahan in order to complete the check.
That was the Mobius Crest that Hebinx found. Our last, I think, Go Mode item.
Yep. That is our last Go Mode item. That check really a troll check, because you have to unlock the gates or unlock the walls from the path to the ice golem, and then you have to remember to go back to it because you can't actually access those items from the ice golem side. You can only access them from the 5th floor initial path side.
Hebinx must be feeling really good about himself right now. Going to fight the snow crab in Falls Basin. Even though he has Go Mode, he just has to go fight Pazuzu.
He is in Go Mode. I mean, let's see. With his kit right now, the snow crab, really just an excuse. I think Hebinx is just hungry and he wanted an excuse for fresh crab legs. That's a quick 30-second check in Falls Basin to just really reposition the pillars, do the waterfall, and then make your way to the crab.
Hebinx chose to use the Wake Water. I'm not sure he knows that the Wake Water isn't actually a Go Mode item.
I think he chose to use the Wake Water in the event he finds the Venus key.
He wouldn't need to, because he can get to Spencer's place from the Windia side. And that chest there is exactly the same as the one you would find from Aquaria.
Back of Focus Tower.
Ah, right. Still, we're in Go Mode.
We are. Although if I'm Hebinx right now, I'm thinking, okay, I'm in Go Mode. I'm gonna clear the tower, but I'm still 2 safeties out of 4 only. So I'm probably gonna full clear the tower because I either want my Cupid Locket or I want my life spell.
That is true. If Phoebe goes down, that is dies, without the life spell, there's no way to get her back up. No consumable item will cure death.
Yep, and unless you are like 1 hit away in phase 4 away from finishing the job, the Dark King is gonna have his way with you, no matter what.
It's not a bad idea to use Get Down Mr. President strats, as I believe I've heard them called before, and just constantly defend Phoebe. Have her do all the damage with the white spell.
Yep. So we are still running through the tower, and have we even seen a red chest yet?
I don't think so.
These sorcerers looks like they've kept their vanilla attacks because I'm seeing some cure spells pop out of them.
They probably have, yeah.
Yep. So we talked about Simple Shuffle earlier about how all the enemies have their attacks or can have their attacks swapped with another enemy. But there is some logic to prevent certain enemies from swapping out early. So like, you're not going to see enemies with cure spells or heal spells early on in the game in Level Forest or in the Bone Dungeon because, again, we want it to be challenging. We're always up for a good rub, but we're not unfair.
Mm-hmm. Where is Pazuzu?
Well, let's see. We just saw Hebinx go down from 4 to 3 and Dragonclaw over to the climb. So my guess is, based on that action, Pazuzu is either on 3 or on 5. Oh,
He is right here
hi
on
there.
3.
Yeah, because you can only fight Pazuzu on the 3rd floor or the 5th floor by accessing him from the initial climb.
Ben goes down to a beefy attack. What was that?
That was a four-figure attack is most likely going to be, my guess anyway, is a critical from Pile Driver. Pazuzu looking like he's kept his original slate of attacks too.
He's got tons of health too. That's why he's doing so much damage. Something to note about the damage formulas for monster attacks in this game. They're partially based off of the monster's max health. If it's a boss, like Pazuzu is, it's their max health divided by 80. If it's a regular enemy, it's max health divided by 8. Other than that, there's a power stat that every attack has a unique value for. And just the enemy's attack stat. The attack stat can be multiplied by 2, everything can be multiplied by 1.5, or everything can be multiplied by 0.75.
Also, with enemy and boss scaling, enemies can be anywhere between 50% to 125% of their vanilla HP. Mm-hmm. Bosses will start at vanilla and can go all the way to 150% or 1.5 times their normal HP. So when you see some long fights, you can almost guarantee that they've rolled high.
Why don't we talk about Psych Shield?
Psych Shield, yes. So, the Pazuzu, well, here it is in action. So, Psych Shield is an ability that Pazuzu and Zoo have, and and when it's active, it will reflect your cast magic back at the original sender. So in this case, Phoebe here casting Thunder. My guess is during the auto phase. And with the Psych Shield still on, Pazuzu sent that Thunder right back at her. The Pazuzu fight itself starts on a script. The first 4 turns are normal, with the 5th turn being the activation of Psych Shield. Psych Shield will always go last, and it'll be followed by another attack. With the Psych Shield coming down every other turn, it'll happen on its normal schedule. So the Psych Shield will happen during Pazuzu's normal phase, and he'll also get another attack right afterwards.
Now, Another thing about fighting in this game is it doesn't matter if Ben is alive or dead at the end of the fight. He'll always get experience. In most, if not all other RPGs, if a party member is dead at the end of a fight, they will not gain experience.
Freddy making the check, not getting anything except thunder.
Hebinx getting the Sky Coin now. He's gotta make a choice. Go find those safeties, or... Well, grinding is also an option.
Well, if I'm going into the Dark King fight minus a Cupid Locket and Life Spell, I'd like Ben to be as durable as possible. So for me, level 20 would be a minimum. We're gonna get
I just find level 20 to be a minimum always.
Oh, I'll play a level 18 or 19 fight, because especially if I feel like I'm behind, or if I'm racing, a top tier runner, I'm just gonna go because you just gotta send it. Like, it's Speedgaming live tournament. Now's not the time to be afraid. You just gotta go.
We're seeing the Alive Forest play. We might even see the giant tree.
Yep, so Freddy doing the Alive Forest checks. Oh, he doesn't have the Gemini crest, so it doesn't matter. Doing the first floor checks of the giant tree. And he's
climbing.
Like he's climbing.
He's climbing.
I mean, the second floor checks are kind of fast. We see brown chest. We see brown chest, the one that Ghidra, the Ghidra door is guarding. So there won't be any Ghidra fights in this particular series. We've got a red chest. We've got life.
So even if Hebinx makes it all the way to the Dark King, he might get bad luck. He might get Ben and Phoebe killed repeatedly, and Freddy will have a very big chance of catching up.
That is true, but I mean, like, Freddy, my guy, you gotta I need you to step on the gas pedal right now.
He's really gotta step on it.
Yep.
But that life book is the exact thing he needed. It's his lifeline.
That is, and we've got a red chest in the ship. I'm thinking right now, I'm at the 50-minute mark. I'm on the ship. I'm still minus 2 safeties. I'm gonna clear the ship. I'm probably gonna go and get that chest because I'm minus 2 safeties. And no matter what, I can always exit out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. In this situation, you would always grab that red chest. It doesn't matter what's in there.
Yep. Freddy here on Team Norma as well, so at the end of the game, no matter what, Freddy can feel good about himself. He saved the girl.
Hebinx finding white, it's not going to be that useful to him.
Yep, not with Flare. And I think he's going to pick up some seeds now at this point, so he's not going to need to do some treasure checks.
He bought as many seeds as he possibly could.
He could. Yeah, so one thing about the Dark King fight, and we're going to have many to talk about in a little bit, is the Dark King does not resist fire, but he resists earth. So your flare spell will do normal damage, but your meteor spell, which you'd think would be your next best weapon against him, hardly will tickle him. So at this point, white is your next best option, being non-elemental.
Making the dive to Dark King at level 20.
I thought for a moment we'd get some comedy options and see like a Cupid Locket like in the climb to the Dark King.
That would have been funny. Unfortunately, it's all consumables.
Oh, brave man, Hebinx. We're not even saving. We're just gonna go for it.
I think he saved earlier.
I think he probably did too. He probably saved at the... You know, if I'm Hebinx, I probably saved at the entry to Dune Castle. If I'm down 2 safeties, and... Oh no, that's not good. I believe that was all of 1 white spell.
We got chat helping us out here. The cure glitch, rather the health underflow glitch, has been patched out of the randomizer.
Yeah, we want a challenge. We want you to experience the full awesomeness that is both the Dark King and the music that is his boss fight.
So if you try to cast Cure on the Dark King, it will heal him. The damage formula has been patched to say, if it goes under a certain value, lock it at that certain value. I think it's negative 3,000, or no, 32,757. 67, sorry.
Whatever 2 to the 14th minus 1 is.
Yeah, 32,767.
Yep.
That aside, Hebinx is having a good time against the Dark King right now. I believe that was a fairly thin second phase.
We saw a paper thin, like tissue paper thin phase 1. 1 white spell sent him into phase 2.
What happened just now? Mega White only hit 1 party member.
Well,
oh, I see what's happening.
I think we're seeing some Madam President stats right now.
That's exactly what's happening.
Yep. So what you're seeing here, chat, is you're seeing Hebinx basically throwing a full defend on Phoebe. And what defend strats do is that it means that Ben will take the attack for Phoebe. Even if he goes second, the moment you click on defend, he's gonna absorb that attack. And if it's an AoE attack, he absorbs all of that too. But the damage isn't split; it's still just fixed damage.
It's exactly like using cover in in any of the Final Fantasy games. Ben will just take every hit, even if it was meant for both of them.
So this is a great learning opportunity here for me too. I've not seen the full Mr. President strat before.
No?
Not yet.
It's fairly self-explanatory. And this turn right here is pretty much the only turn where there's any danger at all. The turn where you have to use a seed on Phoebe. Ben can't defend and use that seed at the same time. This would be another turn where Phoebe's endangered. Oh no!
Oh, you hate to see it. Oh, okay, he saved at the statue.
He's picking up
Cure and
the
heal
cure
potion.
and heal potions. Why? Why is he doing?
Did he not have heal?
He didn't, I think.
Okay, so chat. If Hebinx doesn't have the magic spell heal, and no heal potions, petrification on Phoebe is the same thing as death on Phoebe. Basically, he has no way of undoing that.
You need a heal potion to undo petrification. Let's see. The original health value for each of the Dark King's phases. So the Dark King's phases all get their health rolled separately. All the bosses do, actually. But the original value for the Dark King is 10,000 health for each of his phases. And it's looking like that's roughly what he had.
Which makes me think, I think I'm gonna clip this and send it over to Wildham later on, if he can kind of give us a better explanation, maybe. Because one white spell shouldn't send Dark King into phase 2 all by itself. So the only explanation there would be that the Dark King's health pool is multiplied by the scaling, and then the individual phases portion it out randomly. Because otherwise, there's no way it should be that fast.
Right.
Meanwhile, on Freddy's side, Freddy's in the Pazuzu fight. Freddy, we haven't forgotten about you, man. We're still watching. That was a very unfortunate turn, though. I think he lost track of when the Psych Shield was on. Phoebe cast White, Ben cast Flare, and I think we all know what happens after that.
Yeah. With Psych Shield on, you just die.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you gotta note that that's different from an enemy getting the Psych Shield sort of attack randomized onto them. Part of this attack randomizer is that the attack that's in ID 0 in the code, originally it was called Bare Hands and it did basically nothing. Here, it's a recreation of the damage part of Psych Shield that does 1,600 flat damage. You need to be max level in order to survive it. But nobody gets to max level in this randomizer.
That is correct. It does scale on spell strength though, because if you toss, like, say, Quake at Pazuzu when he has Psych Shield active, the damage is far less than what happens when you send Arrow at him.
Mm-hmm.
Pazuzu being weak to Arrow would take double damage, so the damage is multiplied, and then it gets sent back at you.
Right, and that's because it's a spell reflection, not just straight damage. The Psych Shield damage recreation that's on attack slot 0, it's not a reflection of anything. It's just 1,600 flat damage.
Oh yeah, so I think I've played a few Chaos Randomizer seeds recently, running into just, straight Psych Shield bam from like, say, Brownie.
Right. That is
Instant,
one of the meanest things that can happen.
Yeah. So chat, we do have an option in the randomizer called Chaos Shuffle for the Randomizer, and that means that any enemy, any boss can have any attack.
Any of them.
And when we say any, we mean, like, just pick one. It could be there.
Yeah. We had someone posting 3 Pazuzu emotes in chat earlier. When that happens in game, we like to call it the Birdman Boy Band. But you don't want to see the Birdman Boy Band. It's also one of the most terrible things we could possibly have happen to us.
And at that point, I think we started getting some sprite overload glitches, right?
Only if it happens with the Dark King. If it happens with any other sprite in the game, it doesn't do any sort of glitchy behavior. But because the Dark King is so wide, there's simply not enough space.
So what you're saying is the Dark King needs to go on a diet?
Yes, the Dark King needs to go on a diet, cut off all his legs. And that's the Wombo combo.
Yep. Laser and Golden Web. With
Each-
Phoebe going second.
Each combo that Hebinx takes gives Freddy just that tiny little bit to catch up.
And by the way, chat, that's not a mark against Hebinx and the kit that he has right now. If the Dark King wants you dead, he's gonna go Golden Web on Phoebe, Laser next turn on Ben. He's always gonna outspeed Ben. It's pretty much GG's right there.
Mm-hmm. And he's always going to outspeed Phoebe too, because in the third and fourth phases, Dark King has the highest speed of anything in the game. In fact, I don't think I know the fourth phase doesn't have any attacks coded for it, because if you skip directly to the fourth phase from the second, it still uses the second phase's attacks.
Yeah, it basically seems like the developers just got lazy and said, here, just use whatever they were using previously.
But I don't know if the fourth phase has stats coded for it. It might. Let's keep it going, though.
Yep. Alright. Come on, Freddy. You can do this. I believe in you.
He is making it across the frozen sea, breaking the ice.
You know, you would think that if it were like frozen like that, you could just like say strap on a pair of skates and just like, you know, skate to the to the basement.
But it wouldn't be as fast, you know?
I mean, you know, just give me a cardboard box. I'll slide there.
The ice might be thin.
Hmm.
It just flowed all the way out of Spencer's place. It's got to be newly formed ice.
That's true. Phoebe going to be skating there with Ben doing some hopscotch on the icebergs.
It's better to just install an icebreaker on the ship and
Yeah.
blow
Our
your
boy
way
Ben
through
here
the
gonna
forest.
be shrugging his way through it.
Freddy not taking the cure and heal potions because he does have the life spell.
Yep. So Freddy now entering his fight with the Dark King. This is just now all up to chance. I mean, we've seen Hebinx here for, good lord, at least 5-6 minutes. So we know that this fight is just going to come down to whoever can pull off the best strats and whoever the Dark King kind of wants to win at this point.
I'm not sure the Dark King has much of a choice regarding Freddy, but he does have every choice in the world regarding Hebinx. You gotta remember the only two status effects that either of them can take is Confusion and Blind. Are Confusion and Blind, sorry.
Yeah, but in the case where Phoebe does get petrified and Dark King does not immediately use laser, at least Freddy will be able to get past that.
Freddy's not exactly using Get down, Mr. President! Strats.
Yeah. Yeah, with life on his side, Freddy can do some full sends here with both characters casting Flare and White on an attack run.
He can pretty easily just leave Phoebe on auto. And just use Ben to attack. We've got Hebinx in Phase 4, though.
Phase 4, I really want to see how thick this Phase 4 is, because we've seen some weird things in Phases 1 and 2. Alright, that's one white spell. That's also an Excalibur to the head from Ben. Thank you, Ben.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh.
And you can kind of feel the frustration right now coming out of Hebinx's side.
You don't see it on his face, but you don't need to.
Yeah. All right, Freddy. What are we gonna do? Okay, we are on auto strats after a Mega White. That's fine. Heal your girl. So one of the safest things you can do in a Dark King fight is to cast life on your partner. If both of you cast life on each other, you're basically guaranteed to end the turn with at least one person standing at full health, if not both.
Because Ben is slower than Phoebe, his turn will always happen second. So if Phoebe dies and Ben casts life on her, she won't get her turn. But if Ben dies and Phoebe casts life on him, Ben will get his turn.
Yep,
and he'll do whatever you told him to.
Yep. And in that particular case, he'll just send that life Phoebe's way. Both your characters will be, alright, we're...
It's okay. Ben's
It's
nearly
okay.
invincible.
It's okay. We're still okay. Alright, laser on Phoebe. Phoebe will cure both of them automatically. The AI handling the cure responsibilities at under 50%. Moving on to Phase 4.
We got one flare.
Alright, that's...
Two flares. Three flares! Ah! Oh, I didn't expect that to actually do it.
And that is... you did it! That is time for Freddy right there. Freddy finishing with a official race time of 1:10:43. Good job to Freddy.
Definitely.
Talk about your come-from-behind victories right there.
Hebinx has been fighting the Dark King this entire time. Just going in raw. And he's had such a tough time of it. Props to him for doing that. Let's see if we can get the runners... There's a command that we can put in chat to get the runners' Twitch channels. right? I think you
there
would know
is.
that better than I do.
I've never used it. I just normally use the manual invite method. Freddy said he's a little busy right now. He might not be joining us, but I think as soon as Hebinx finishes his fight here, assuming that he gets to finish his fight here, we'll definitely pull him in.
I got a message to help me out.
Yeah, for those of you who ever want to join us here on comms or on tracking, it's a lot of fun actually. You get to see the race from a different perspective, especially when you can see both ends of it at the same time. And you know, you're just chilling out with a homie. I got Giga here. We're just kicking it back,
Having a good time. Hebinx making it to the 4th phase once again. We'll see if he makes it all the way through. Gold Web, not that scary of an attack if you do have that petrification resistance.
So one thing about petrification is that if it does damage as well, the status check happens first. So once you're petrified, nothing else will happen. It's only if you resist the petrification, then you'll take the damage afterwards. Alright, Hebinx, we just need you to get off one more attack, man.
Oh, just a tiny bit more. Ben comes back up.
Yeah.
Phoebe.
This next one should do it right here, because
I think
we saw 3 flares on Freddy's side.
And down he goes with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 25 seconds. Let's see if we can get Hebinx and Freddy in for a interview here.
Yep.
There's
Hebinx. GG's, my friend.
GG.
What were you thinking through that entire Dark King fight?
That he's a real jerk, and I wish I had the Cupid locket.
Just the Cupid locket, not life?
Not really. Any of those wipe situations I had, honestly, wouldn't have been fixed by life. I was either too low HP or outsped any of the situations where Phoebe went down. I did notice after my first wipe, though, that I didn't have any heal potions. That's why I quit out and went back to my save that I made and grabbed those, just in case she was petrified, and at least that panned out, at least.
Yeah, that was a heads-up move.
Sorry. Did you ever use the heal potions?
Once. One time. Ben ended up on 78 HP, or like 28 HP, and Phoebe got petrified because I went for a seed cast instead of a defend. Just because, you know, with the strats I was adopting, I had to make sure that Phoebe stayed alive, and it was safer to just, you know, have her be my damage dealer, but she got a little low on charges near the end, so I needed to make sure I topped her off.
I don't think Freddy will be coming in here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So having, if it makes you feel any better, neither of you found the Cupid locket. Freddy ended up finding life in his quest through the Alive Forest.
Where was it in the Alive Forest? How far up in that tree was that life spell?
Wasn't it in the giant tree? It was in the room that led to the boss door. The specifically the door that the boss unlocks after you beat Ghidra.
The second, okay, so it wasn't
the
door, or
the
was
mushroom.
the mushroom room?
It was the two in the mushroom.
Yeah, that's still a floor 2 dive, and at the pace I was going, I was really hoping for a sub hour. I feel like if everything would have rolled right the first time, I could have gotten a sub hour on that seed with how fast everything came together.
Oh yeah,
Excuse me.
you were probably, yeah, I agree. You were definitely on pace for, I think, our first sub-hour clear. Everything seemed to be going your way, and the route you ran was exactly what you needed to do.
Yeah, it just goes to show that RNG can get you sometimes. So, you know, that I took a risk. I was like, I'm going in without life and Cupid lock it, and I was nervous as heck that something would go wrong. And you know, I get to that first phase 4 and there's a wipe. Second phase 4 and there's a wipe. Phase 3 and there's a wipe, and it's just like, you know, you wipe like 5 times. You're like, God bless America. So. It is what it is. Dark King giveth, Dark King taketh away.
Yeah. Do you guys have a game 3 date yet?
Not yet, but there are only 2 days left in the in this bracket, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get that scheduled as soon as possible, probably either tomorrow or Sunday, since those are only days that we have left. So if you're in the Discord and you're interested in following the tournament, feel free to check that out. We do post those when they're scheduled. So
Let me get the Discord link up in chat for us.
Meanwhile, so Hebinx, let's say I'm new to Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer. What are some ways that I can start getting to know how to play like the pros and doing what you guys do?
I would say first thing you should do is go to ffmqrando.net and read through the site and make sure that you have the appropriate ROM to run the randomizer. And then the next thing I would do is I would click on the left hand side, open up that menu, and join our Discord if you are overwhelmed, if this is your first randomizer, if this is just something you just want to get keen at. We do have a new players room in the Discord that's been put together by myself and a lot of other seasoned runners of the randomizer. We have great recommendations on first timer seeds. You can go back and watch VODs of any of our previous tournaments or races, or just ping any of us. It's a pretty friendly community, and we all have tips and tricks that we love to share. And not everybody knows everything. Yeah, I feel like I'm still learning new things every day.
All right, so we have in the chat, we have the Discord link, we have the randomizer link. Definitely please follow the runners. We have twitch.tv/Hebinx and twitch.tv/freddyn3k.
And I think that's about it.
Yep. You guys have any last words?
Just got word that we're probably going to be scheduled for 8 p.m. East Coast time on Sunday for our match 3. So looking forward to that. Win or lose, it's been a fun tournament. I'm still a tournament moderator, so I'll be here regardless, win or lose, moving on into our semifinals and finals. But shout outs to everybody watching in chat. Shout outs to everybody in the community, especially you, Hatox and Giga, for doing commentary. Shout outs to Ekamot for doing tracking, and my co-organizers. None of this would be possible without all of y'all. So thanks again for having me. It's been a good race. I look forward to the next one.
And thanks for being here.
All right. You got any last words?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, for everybody here at Speedgaming, the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer community, we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. And we'll be back later on. We've got another match on Speedgaming 6 coming up with F. Coughlin versus the RPG chick. And on Speedgaming tomorrow, depending on what time zone you're living in, we've got Ipsy versus Wildham game 2. And then as we just heard from Hebinx, on Sunday he'll have his game 3 with Freddy. So lots of games to be had, lots of matches to watch. But until then, you guys take care of yourselves, stay safe, and see you later. Aloha.
I believe the F. Coughlin versus the RPG chick match has already started on Speedgaming 6.
Oh, yes.
So if you want to catch that, I'll put a link to Speedgaming 6 in the chat as well.
All right, take care, everybody.
Have a good time.